Okay, we're back. This is just midway through my recording of the next section, so this will be confusing to edit, but cool. So we're looking at Kurt's journal first. So this is page 1, 5 October 1916. Work on the Zeppelin is going well. Although it is trying, everyone here pushes themselves to complete the task. The girders and frame near completion, and the scale of the thing is truly magnificent. It always amazes me to consider this will one day fly through the sky. It will soon be time to prepare and sew the gas bags. Oh, this is 20 October 1916. At the meal last night, Klaus once again made the argument that sausage skins were the best material for gas bags. He even tried to convince us there would soon be a shortage of sausages, as Germany built more Zeppelins. Everybody laughed, even though we have heard such claims 100 times now. 7 November 1916. I still worry that Katrin hasn't received word from Max back on the farm. I try not to think of such things. I will listen every day for news of my son and for news from the front. It is all I can do. X for the next page? Yep. 20 November 1916. Signing up for the front was very straightforward. Though I wish the same could be said of my journey there. The train is cramped and filthy, which is little surprise considering how many of us there are. 23 November 1916. The train stops and starts so much that I sometimes think it'd be quicker to walk to the front. Last week the engine broke down and the train ground to a halt in the middle of nowhere. Some saw it as a blessing. 25 November 1916. They say this war will not last much longer, and many were overjoyed to spend their time doing nothing while we waited for the train to start again. I, however, am all too aware of wasting time. Every passing hour is an hour lost in search for Max. 29 November 1916. As our destination nears, men continue to talk of the war. Some fear death, while others make bold claims about what they will do once they reach the front. Yet before we even arrive, discussion turns more and more to home, for Christmas is less than a month away. Even back at the Zeppelin factory, only a lucky few would be granted leave to go home at Christmas time. Yet the further I travel from home, the more difficult I find it. 4 December 1916. Lucy has always loved Christmas. I will write to her, although I do not know what to say. If she can wait a little longer, then maybe I can bring home the best Christmas gift of all. Maybe I can bring her brother home. 20 February 1917. Although I have only been here a few months, it already feels like an eternity. Each day soon becomes the next, with little difference to mark the passage of time. We wake, we work, we dig and drain the trenches, and then spend our nights watching and waiting. 27 February 1917. The trenches here are home to more rats than I've ever seen. Franz has a name for them, the scurrying Tommy, and he has made a hobby of killing as many as he can. Franz is hungry for battle. He has not yet had the opportunity to kill any Tommy. But there is no shortage of rats. The rats keep coming. 5 March 1917. I am thankful for Franz and Lothar. Even though they argue like children, it is pleasant to have such friendship and support. They do their best to keep my spirits high as I search for Max. 11 March 1917. Every day I ask whoever I can if they have seen my boy. Yet every day it is the same faces, the same answers. I suspect many think I am mad, but most men here are just boys. They don't have children of their own. They don't know what it means to be a father. 16 March 1917. Max is at the Somme. It is all I think about, day and night. 21 March 1917. Although I carry out my duties the best I can, I struggle to sleep at night, and so struggle to function during the day. I ask every morning for a transfer to the Somme, but my superiors say no. Some even laugh, though it is only 80 kilometers away. 28 March 1917. The reports say many are buried at the Somme. I try not to think of such things. Max is likely just injured and being cared for in a field hospital. He will need his father. 2 April 1917. Franz tells me I should escape to the Somme and go now. He says he and Lothar will stall any who come looking for me. He says if I stick to the forest and farmlands, I will not be noticed, and I could be there in a few days. I am grateful to him, but cannot take the risk. If I were caught, I should be shot as a deserter. Instead, I must simply endure. Perseverance and hard work will always prevail. and Harry. Let's skip back to the beginning. 15 October 1916. Mr. Taylor shared some great news today. He ordered a new camera and says if I behave myself, he'll let me take a few photos with it. 28 October 1916. Julia laughed at one of my jokes today. Normally she just rolls her eyes. Today was a good day. 5 November 1916. They tell me the camera is arriving any day now. Mr. Taylor says he wants me to set it up and test it. Julia says it's because he's too lazy to do it himself. 11 November 1916. I told Julia I'd take a few photos of her to see if the camera works okay. She protested, but I'm pretty sure she'll let me. She's going to be the perfect subject. 30 November 1916. I haven't been seasick for days now, so at least I'm making progress. No one told me how rough the ocean would be. 2nd December 1916. I still can't believe I'm going to war. Barrett acts like it's the most normal thing in the world. 4 December 1916. I've been getting up early to take photos. The light is beautiful at dawn. I wish Julia could see me now. 25 February 1917. Barrett says we're going to a place called Vimy in France. We're headed to the rear. I think that's where they send supplies and new soldiers. I'm so new to all of this that I'm embarrassed to ask too many questions for fear the answers are obvious. 10 March 1917. Barrett says only time to settle in and find my feet before heading to the front. I'll write home to Julia the first chance I get. 28 March 1917. I'm going to the front. Barrett says this is where the real action happens, and that I will truly be documenting history when I arrive. He says my photos will be studied and enjoyed for generations to come. 3rd April 1917. Sometimes I don't know whether to believe the Major or not. Still, I should get some pretty exciting pictures to send to Julia, if nothing else. Do we have any notes? Nope, that was the notes. Back. Do we have any letters? Is that just the... These just the... Whoa. A lot more here than I remember. Oh, come on. Oh. 18 September 1916. Dear Kurt, it has been 6 months today since you left home to work at the factory, although it feels to me an eternity. We are coping well, though Lucy misses you terribly. She keeps asking, when will Papa be home? I tell her, you are needed to build magnificent flying machines that will help Germany win the war. We both look forward to the day we will see you again. Love, Katrina. 22 October 1916. Dear Kurt, I never received a reply to my last letter. Is everything alright at the factory? I went into Alpiersbach yesterday for food and supplies. Everyone asks after you, Kurt. Though you are too old to go to war, they are all so proud of the way you support your country at the Zeppelin factory. The weather here is taking a turn. For the colder, Lucy is in fine spirits, and I have taken to chopping wood in preparation for winter. Right back soon. Love, Katrina.
Dear Kurt, I'm troubled by the news of Max. I've wept for him so much that I feel like I have already mourned his death. I know that he may yet live, but it is so difficult not knowing. Are you certain the best course of action is going to the front yourself? I know little of these things, but the war seems so vast. Can you really hope to find Max? I understand the Waldner stubbornness, and I pray you find our boy. Be careful, Kurt. Lucy needs a father. Love, Katrin.
Well then.
Dear Kurt, I'm glad to hear your travels are safe, and that Franz and Lothar are well. I wonder where they plan to station you three? Surely they will not expect the men of your age to fight. You are a fixer of things, Kurt. Perhaps they will find use for you as an engineer. Lucy asks after you often. Will you write to her when you get the chance? She does enjoy hearing from you, Kurt. Love, Katrin. Dear Kurt, I've been talking to Hilde from the village. She thinks they will station you at Vimy, and she understands the war better than I do. Time will tell, I suppose. The farm struggles in your absence, but I have taken to chopping wood in preparation for the winter. When you return, I think my arms shall be as big as yours. Lucy asks after Max. I have not the heart to tell her what we know. She thinks he is still at war fighting the enemy. I pray she's right. Do what you must, Kurt. I will love you, no matter what. Love, Katrin.
25 March 1917. Dear Kurt, I am overjoyed to hear the news of Max. The Somme, that is not so terribly far from where you are stationed now. When do you think the officers will grant you the transfer? I pray they understand how important this is to you. Kurt, though a man of your skills must be a valuable asset, I imagine they want to keep you for themselves. Lucy wants to know when Max will come home. I struggle to find the right answer. Love, Katrin. I imagine this one from Julia is just the...
Dear Harry.
Yeah, we listened to that one, I believe, this episode, actually. Collectibles, I haven't done very well. I'm not never put too much of a focus on those. We do have to do this. The North American situation. The United States and Canada have different degrees of involvement in World War I due to their differing diplomatic and allied situations. When the United Kingdom declares war on Germany for August 1914, Canada is automatically brought into the war as it is still a British Dominion. The Canadian Governor-General raises the Independent Canadian Expeditionary Force to help in Europe. The sacrifice is huge. 66,655 killed and 172,000 wounded. This effort will change Canadian history and help it gain greater independence. The U.S. is neutral for the first 2 years, but the sinking of the ship RMS Lusitania and the evolution of public opinion pushes America to enter the war in April 1917. 4 million U.S. personnel will be sent to Europe, and 110,000 of them will never return. Document from Peter Boyle, Hand Across the Sea card showing the Canadian flag in 1916. A soldier's equipment. For both sides, the uniform material is strong and thick. It weighs up to 25 kilograms with rifle and ammunition. It is designated to keep the soldier warm during snowstorms and rain. In 1916, the iconic German spiked helmets are replaced by the Stahlhelm, which also provides the model for German helmets in World War II. Document from Robin Schaeffler, Karl Gint of Urbelot. Karl goes on vacation. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.